it is. The one and only Danny Bacon and
Cheers,
Nick
everybody.
Huckson. My partners in crime. How we doing, gents?
Fantastic, buddy.
Scottie, we're always good, buddy.
I know. Look at the smile on you, man. Like, I don't think anything ever brings you down. Is there ever a cloudy day in the Huckson house?
Oh, yeah. When you lose a 30-inch walleye on the side of the boat, tournament day,
Okay, I don't
clouds
know.
everywhere.
We can't talk about 30-inch walleye discipline, no.
Clouds everywhere, Scott.
I hear you, buddy. I hear you. I cry for you. I feel your pain. Gents, it is a pleasure to be here. I want to wish both of you a happy new year, even though we're well into January, or at least a good portion of January. But needless to say, hope you had a great holiday season, both of you. But we are back at her, and we are talking. This is interesting because it's not something that we do normally here. Danny can attest to that. We don't typically talk about ourselves. We like talking about other topics. But this is a different topic. It's new. It's new to the three of us, and it's new to the rest of the world. So I will leave it at that. And Danny, what is it that I'm talking about?
I'm very excited for this because this has been something that I've been thinking about for a long time, and we're talking about the North Channel Walleye Open. So we're getting ready to go off to the races here. We've officially started registration today. We are, as Nick can attest to this, our sponsorship pool is growing. I think a little faster than we kind of expected. So we did get our webpage up and running. So we're using social media, Facebook, to get our registration up and going, and we got that all set up. So hopefully people watching and are eagerly waiting can get registered, and we'll get you going.
That's awesome. Well, for those who don't know where we are or where it is, maybe we'll take them on a little bit of a trek. Christelle's in the house. How you doing, Christelle? Nice to see you. And of course, Tony is always here. Always a pleasure to see you, Tony. Thanks so much for joining us. And of course, your continued support for what it is we do around here. But this is, as Danny just said, the North Channel Walleye Open. And for us who live down here in the South, this is the typical trek. Now, it's a little bit different for you, Nick. You're going the other way. But tell us a little bit about the area. Tell us a little bit about the Spanish area.
Well, as someone that's not necessarily from there, Danny might have a different view on it. But, I mean, I drive from Sault Ste. Marie to Spanish regularly just to go fishing, not only to see my buddy Danny, but the fishing out there is just, it's world class. It's second to none of any other location I've fished in this area on the Great Lakes. It's you can go out almost every time. It seems that we get a fish over 27, 28, pushing 30 inches near every time we go out. I've got my personal best walleye, actually the one over my shoulder, this shoulder, back in filming a TV show with Roadfish. So it's the land of the personal best, as Danny says.
Yeah. That's it there, I'm assuming, Nick?
That's the one.
Buddy, what a fish. And I have to say, you know, being out on the water with Danny, just that the 3 hours that we spent out there was absolutely phenomenal. I was blown away. And of course, I have not been able to keep my mouth shut about it since then. But Danny, as I said, this is somewhere you kind of grew up. You've known this area for a number of years. You obviously have a different opinion about this fishery than most who don't know it like me. But over the years, has this fishery just continued to get better? Has there been bad years, good years, or has it always been phenomenal?
It's always been a phenomenal fishery. Like, it's been very well known, and in fact, like everybody's kind of known it as it's in the spring. It's the river during the May long weekend when it opens, and then they migrate into Vances Bay, just outside of the marina where they go that in the summertime. And then after that, it used to be like traditionally we go bass fishing and muskie fishing and whatnot. And walleye fishing in the fall was pretty limited. Wasn't very many people because everybody's getting ready for hunting. In fact, it wasn't that long ago, like 5 years ago, I remember going out when I started inviting people down where it's just me and Mike Lemire out there. And it was and most guys didn't go past October. So now you're seeing this rush, and you know, I want to take some credit for. I'm partially to blame for that. I've gotten my buddies Nick's involved and Chris Bain. A lot of people with social media, we've blown it up. My personal best has come out here. It's over 15 pounds. I'm born and raised here. This is my home community. When you were zooming in, you can actually see the house I grew up in, and you can actually see the current house I live in right now. So I know this area very, very well.
Okay, 15 pounds.
15.23 pounds. Yes. That's not uncommon here. And I've actually personally, I've seen bigger caught here. I know that they're here. The MNR actually informed me in the spring, I guess pre-spawn walleye, they got one. It was close to 20 pounds. Schaefer Millette, a friend of mine, he caught one. We estimated around 15 and a half because it was a solid inch longer than mine, but the same girth and everything else. So they're big. There's a lot of them.
15 pounds.
Yeah.
Now, Danny, I got to ask, before we get into some of the details of the tournament, for those who have never fished this area, maybe they visited as a kid with their dad, grandfather, what have you. Is there a possibility? Is there a chance that there's still 15-pound fish out there to be caught? And do you think a 15-pounder could be caught during our tournament?
There's no doubt there's 15s, if not bigger, out here. There's no doubt in my mind of that. Especially now with our technology, with our live, we can actually visually see them now. They're old fish. They're smart. They've been around. I'm sure they've been caught over the years and been released again. But whether we're going to see them in the tournament, I don't know. We'll definitely see, I think, a lot of walleye over 10 pounds in the tournament. That's in that September time frame. These bigger fish we're catching are obviously a little later in that November, December time frame, where they're a little bit fatter. One thing about this area that, especially where we're going to be fishing in that whales back system, where the tournament kind of starts, it's a smorgasbord of food. There's smelt, Cisco, suckers, perch, bass, crappie. Like they're eating everything. And in fact, you can see Nick's been with me at times. We caught two different walleyes, same length and weight, completely different. Because you can tell this one's living in the weeds, eating on minnows and whatnot. And the other one's chasing open water. And they migrate in the fall. Around that August time frame, they really group in here. So September is going to be a good time to catch them. And they're still spread out enough that we can have 80, 90, 100 boats not on top of each other.
Now there used to be. Sorry, Nick.
My opinion on that. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I just said touching base on the 15 pounds in a tournament. I mean, that's a special fish, but I know of two that broke 13 of fairly close friends or friends of friends this year that come out of there, and then one that actually broke 16 pounds this year. So tournament time's a different animal, right? But I mean, that comes to, I think, a lot of guys get those big fish in practice, and I think we got a little surprise for everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I have to say, I think I was more blown away. Matagami, I love Matagami, and I love the people up there, and the fishing is phenomenal. I guess because it's an inland waterway, and yes, it is man-made and reservoir-like and blah, blah, blah. I guess I wasn't that surprised to see the quality of fish, because typically walleye do really well in reservoir-type setups. But when it comes to the open water, this is a whole different ball of wax. We talk about the Wawa salmon challenge that goes on a little bit north of where you are, Nick, out on on Superior. Just blown away by the size of salmon that were caught there. So it really tweaked my interest when you had mentioned, Dan, to come up to Spanish, to have a look and see if we can run a tournament out of there. And I'll tell you, based on the facility itself, I was already sold. And the marina, the township of Spanish, have jumped on this in a huge, huge way. You constantly update us with folks that you see in town that there's an outpouring of support currently going on right now, because they truly, truly want to see this happen. And a lot of it, I think, may be because, Danny, you can help me out here, but there used to be a tournament called Sagamuk, and it's a town that had held a tournament for a number of years, did really, really well with it, and it's no longer running. Is that part of the reason why there's this big, burst of support?
Yes and no. I mean, Sagamuk is the First Nation community just outside of Massey, so they're upriver for us. It's our neighboring community, and they held a fall classic for a number of years. That was part of the NLWT trail. I think in maybe 2018, 2019 is where they shut the tournament down for whatever the reasons were. In fact, this is where I was introduced to tournament angling. This is what I got my teeth hooked into, and that's where I fell in love with tournament fishing. It's actually where I met Nick and all of these guys, and so I got to know a lot of people. We used the boundary is actually about 2 miles from the marina, where it changes from zone 10 to zone 14. Once that tournament ended, I've been trying for a lot of years. I was kind of like, I really missed it. We tried to encourage Saginaw at the time to open up the big water and push that forward. And it was always one of those things that I wanted to do. And I always tried to do something, a little something here and there. And it was finally this summer. I said, well, I'm going to talk to the township and see if I can rent the hall at the marina because they have such a good facility. And I was blown away that they were just like, no, we want to be a part of this. We want to go with you. We think it's a great idea. And I was like, perfect, because my aspirations were a lot bigger than what I was trying to do at the time. And I'm very lucky. I mean, motivated enough to do it. I have a great wife that helps me support all these dumb ideas when I come up with them. And immediately the township jumped on. So when they jumped on, you two guys were the first people that I talked to, and you guys got on board right away. So
you have a couple of dumb friends too to back you.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's solidified what I'm doing, And that being said, I do want to give a couple little mentions to people that are currently watching right now, like Christelle Valle and Jessica Navo, Alan Willette, Chantal Bernard. They've been a lot of help with me trying to fill in those little blank questions that I've had. And not only that, the majority of them are Christelle, Jessica, and I believe Chantal, which I haven't really officially talked to yet, are going to be helping us with the events. So I'm looking forward to it. I know Jessica and Christelle are in. And but I really, this is me with a big dumb dream as an angler. Just want to fish. I know the fishing's phenomenal here. Everybody knows it's phenomenal here. We want to highlight that. We have a lot of, as you got to see, Scottie, Spanish is kind of unique in a way. We have a great marina, a great facility, and it's not the only marina. We actually have 3 marinas here, and we also have 4 lodges within 5 minutes of here. Plus, we have an additional 2 marina lodges about an extra, say 7 minutes away, including that. So we got Waterfalls, Blue Herring, Gateway 57, Vance's Resort, Spanish River Inn, and Brenner Harbor. Plus, we got fuel station at Gamble's. We also got Cutler has a really good fuel system. It's got all grades of fuel. And then we have all the amenities here, the LCBO, we have baits, we have everything. So it's oddly enough is when I remember when I sold it to you, I said, like, this marina was built by a tournament angler. And when you start thinking about how the town is structured, it was like a tournament angler said, hey, we need all this stuff to make sure we can make everybody happy. And we've kind of comprised all that kind of stuff. And so I'm really excited. Obviously, it's close to the heart for me. So
100%. Now, Nick, you're kind of like me. You're out of town. You're a lot closer than I am. But being from out of town, explain, because I do know that this means a lot to a small town like Spanish, and of course all the accompanying towns that are very close to it that are also going to have benefit from it. But explain from a northern perspective and from a town's perspective what this tournament really means.
Well, I mean, like anyone that's driven along the north highway of Lake Huron, even Lake Superior, it's a lot of these towns are built around the lake and what the lake has to offer. That's why they were there in the original times when the highway was put through. That's why these establishments have been here and grown. So having a tournament like this is going to bring new light, new eyes, new focus on a town that might have had, is maybe lost its flame a little bit. I'm hoping that we can bring some anglers in that from different areas all over. We've had messages from, Captain Kevin from Florida said, sign me up just now. So, I mean, we're talking, okay, let's, that's 29 hours away. We got our first register. So if we can bring people to these areas to see what Spanish is all about and what the North Shore and the North Channel has to offer, I mean, we've done our job. That's in turn, we want to host a fantastic tournament, but at the same hand, we want to see a town start striving and bringing some new eyes and some new life from people that might not have been there previously.
Agreed. And based on the venue itself, the amount of landmass there is available, you've said, Danny, that they've held huge spectacles. They have concerts there. There was a mud, like some kind of four-wheeler type expedition that was going on there, that they have this big concert and they sell the place out. It's just absolutely packed with campers. I could totally see this becoming like a Woodstock of walleye.
I really hope so. And it's actually funny to say that, because I was actually I was head of the electrical department. So when Ron Stoller approached us, he says, I want to host a rock concert here. It was an outdoor event. It was called Rock and Roar. It lasted 7 years. At our peak, I think we had about a 2,800 attendance record over a 2-day period, which was held at the marina at the Four Seasons complex, exactly where we are. So that's where it was held. In fact, we're going to use that area now as parking area. They did also have we established a temporary RV site. I think we could host, I think it was 300 campers that were non-service. They had everything else there. So the township is willing to reactivate those if the obviously if the locals are filled up, like local camp RV sites, we have overflow. And it's right at the marina. So it's like within walking distance. The marina itself, the Four Seasons Club, has showers, laundry, has everything you need at that facility. So it's suited for boaters. It's got everything you need. If it's a major destination here in the, we're only 8 miles from the Benjamin Island system. We're 30 miles from Little Current. We're 60 miles from Sault Ste. Marie. In fact, so that's what we're doing. Zone 14. So Little Current to Sault Ste. Marie is our area. That's what we're fishing. If you want to run it, go for it. I don't care. You don't have to, but if you can, it's up to you.
Right on.
Touching on that as well, all of Zone 14 is in play. But anyone that's looking and interested in fishing this, the Whales Back Channel, which is really well-known area, this North Channel that we're speaking of, a lot of people know as the Whales Back. It's housed of many, many islands. It's kind of not. It's not part of the per se all of Lake Huron. So you're not going to get the whole waves of Lake Huron coming in. It's more sheltered. So there's a lot more safety than one would think just fishing a tournament on Lake Huron. There's tons of bays, tons of islands, lots to get away. I run a 17.5-foot boat. I've never once felt uncomfortable out there. And I've been, I fished it in some pretty extreme weather. Not one time did I feel like my life was in danger, and I didn't feel that it could have went out within reason. Obviously, there's days that there's legit blow jays on almost any body of water, and it is a great lake, and you have to understand that. But fishing out of a 17.5-foot boat, I have not once felt like I was in danger and couldn't fish. So
to touch on what Nick's saying, he's absolutely right. Like there's numerous, like it's not uncommon to see a 12-footer and a 9.9 out there fishing. This has no limitations to the boat size, and that's the beauty. Like Spanish, that's its motto. We're the gateway to the North Channel, and the North Channel comprises of many smaller ones. So like Whales Back's inside there, McBain, Wabano, all these other channels are inside this major system. But Nick's absolutely right. There's no limitation. You don't need a 20-footer with a 300 on there. You can easily do this with a 14-footer and a 20, no problems at all. Most of the fishing is going to be done, I think, within 10 miles. Like that's going to be a long run, I think, for some people. We've numerous amount of fish. In fact, I think Nick's probably going to say is his 13 came. We could see the marina, like where
I could see the marina. That's exactly what I was going to say. I caught my personal best walleye within eyesight of the marina.
Yeah,
and Danny, yours wasn't far from. If you were, you were very close to seeing.
A mile past that. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I caught that. And Scottie, when we were there, we were actually pretty much the same area where Nick was. We could see the marina, and we were catching 29s and 30s. So you don't have to go far.
Absolutely unique too, not only in the sense of how close you are to the marina catching quality fish, but how many quality fish there are, and how many you were spotting on your live target, how many you were casting to, how many you caught that day. The one thing I will say too, it's really interesting because depending on where you are fishing, I noticed that the color of the walleye changed. For instance, that mud flat that you were fishing, they were a lot lighter fish. And then we get into, some of the, I want to say mid-lake humps, some of the stuff that's closer to the blue water, it was a different colored fish. So it's unique in the sense that you're going to see not only a lot of variety in size of fish, but even a variety of colors, because it depends on where you catch them in this body of water, what they're going to look like when they come to the boat.
Yeah, and you actually do get a lot of blue walleye as well. But you're absolutely right about that. Like, especially because where we are, there's a lot of nomadic fish. Even though we have a really heavy resident population, we have a lot of fish that do travel. It's I've heard rumors of fish that have been tagged in Saginaw that have been caught here with DNR stickers on them. I think they use a ban, actually, a lip ban. But so it's not uncommon for that because it is the Great Lakes. It is Lake Huron. These fish can travel along with. They do grow faster. We do get very healthy populations, stuff like that. Now, that being said, we're leaning heavily on these big fish, but I think this tournament's going to be one on the small ones because they're the elusive ones, I think.
So I wanted to get to that. Based on this area of the channel, obviously we're in zone, as you said, zone 14. there is a certain amount that you're allowed, and there is a slot limit in place. Maybe you should explain that, Dan.
Yeah, we're following the MNRF rules for Zone 14, which is 2 fish per angler, nothing between 16 and 22. We have the exact measurements. I think it's closer like 22.8, whatever, something like that. So you're only allowed one over that 22. So we're doing a 4 fish limit. So basically, each boat will be allowed 2 walleye over 22 inches and 2 walleye under 16 inches. The fish here are very healthy. So, 15 to 16 inch walleye is about 1.5 pounds each. So if we want to, that's the challenge to me. That's where we've had a lot of discussions about that over the time, but we also want that number. But the big fish here, I think a 22 to 26 inch walleye is going to be very common, very, very common. I think every boat's going to have something like that in their live well. I don't see a problem with that.
Unless you're fishing Lake Erie or Bay of Quinnies, fish of that size. I mean, frequently, as I said, this is something for folks that have never visited this area of Ontario, aren't accustomed to. Unless you fish big water like Bay of Quinnie or Lake Erie, you don't see the quality and production of fish that you do here as you will on the Spanish. Again, tournament is in September. Dan, specifically what date?
September 19th and 20th. Our rules meeting will be on the 18th, which we have to have at least one member in attendance. We'll be running flight times, and so we'll be staggering out. We're going to get more detail as we go along. There's a lot to unpack with there, what we got going on regarding the venue, the Made in Canada, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully we can accomplish all this here stuff. We have so much going on that we're very excited about, and we are starting to zero in on that. But what I'm really excited about, and I'm just itching to get to this, so I'm going to steal Scottie's thunder and throw this one at Nick, because I want to talk about the pre-fishing.
Yeah, baby.
I really want to talk about that.
So back to what we talked about, the 15-pounder that never seems to come in tournaments. But I mentioned this, and this came up in discussion, is Danny Bacon has caught more 30-inch walleye but never won a walleye tournament. We're finally going to give that guy a chance to win a walleye tournament. We're going to have the first ever pre-fish tournament. That's right, pre-fish tournament. So we got sponsors, we got NXS Fishing, we got Shimano, we got they're going to be coming in. They're going to sponsor a pre-fish tournament. There's going to be some awesome prizes on it. We're going to have Anglers Atlas is going to sponsor it, similar to the Walleye Wars. They're going to take care of all of it. All you have to do, you're already pre-registered. Anyone that registered for the tournament is going to be pre-registered for the pre-fish tournament. Right. All you have to do is download the Anglers Atlas app. We'll have all the details for you. And the 3 longest walleye, first, second, and third, are going to win awesome prize packs from Shimano and NXS.
And we're currently, I think, prize-wise, so think about this. This is a free event. The only people allowed to fish it are those that have registered for the actual NCAA tournament. And you can fish independently. You're going to win as a team, but you can fish independently. We don't care. It's at the end of the day, it's the biggest fish. Your team, you're going to have the same number. We know that. We're probably looking currently, I think we're on $2,500 in prizes for a free event. You just, for pre-fishing.
And building.
And building. It is building. Like, this is just, we've been sitting on this for I remember when Nick told me the idea, I almost drove into the Mississauga River when he told me that. I thought it just floored me. I thought it was the best idea I ever heard, which is not often coming from Nick Huckson.
Never mind. I'm full of ideas. I just don't execute them well.
And I have to say, Nick, it was brilliant. It's certainly something that I thought of when I was out in the water. I thought about this before, too. When I saw you folks at Duberville working your arses off pre-fishing, I'm like, not that it's a waste, but I'm just thinking the quality of fish that I saw at Duberville, and that really opened my eyes to the walleye tournaments that go on up in the north. The quality of fish that came out of Duberville was just off the charts. But I thought, for lack of a better way to explain it, it just seemed like such a waste. If there's a way to promote a fishery, something simple like that, the tournament does wonders too. But to do a pre-fish, like, absolutely,
it's all incidental catches. No one wants to catch a 30-inch walleye in practice, but it happens. Yep. It's like, I wonder how big these are. Cast out at them, pow! You're like, ah. Duberville, we got one that was pushing 12 pounds in practice. We never seen that in the tournament. We shook it off the side of the boat, and it had to have been it was over 10, under 12. Let's put it that way. Because we thought it was like, that's like 8, 9, maybe 10, and then we got one that was minutes after that was 9.4. It was double the size, it felt like. So it's you get those fish in practice incidentally, but now you know what? All you have to do, you're going to bring it on the boat, take a picture of it, throw it on a bump board. Same rules as the Walleye Wars on your on a certified bump board or on a manufactured bump board of any sort. And squeeze the tail, take a picture, and it we upload it onto the Anglers Atlas app, and you're entered into potentially winning $2,500 worth of prizes. It's just as an incidental thing. You're going out to practice anyways. May as well throw some money at it, right?
And that's basically, like Nick says, so like Anglers Atlas is very suited for doing this. I've fished their tournaments before, and many anglers have. It works very well. So as this comes along, we will have the full rules for everybody. When you log on, you'll get your thing. Basically, I think what's going to work is when you've registered, we're going to create an access code for you so that you can go to Anglers Atlas, and they already know that you're part of the event. And the same boundaries apply. It's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to all that. And that being said, like, you're paying $500 to fish a 2-day event. We just gave you an extra 5 days because this is going to run from the prior Saturday right up till the Wednesday, 4 p.m. So there's a lot of time for, like I said, to gain a little bit extra prizes and stuff like that.
So when it comes to that, and folks, that this is probably unique to some folks who are listening, pre-fishing is not really something that is rewarded. It's something that you do in order to better yourself come tournament time. I'll have my partner in crime, Mike Consul, come on here, who's going to be running it with a team of judges who will be going over all the catches, and will explain how Anglers Atlas works, how the app works, what you need as anglers to know, and then take it from there. But for those who are a little apprehensive about, oh my Lord, this is just another element that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to handle. Folks, we're going to walk you through it. We're going to hold your hand. We're going to, sing lullabies, the whole 9 yards. You will be so well tooled by the time you hit the water. This will be secondhand for you. You'll be able to teach us a thing or two.
And it's totally up to them whether they want to do it or not. No one's forcing their hand. No one, if you don't want to participate in it, that is okay. You don't have to register any fish if you don't want to give out in. None of the locations are going to be given out. Nothing like that. It's all confidential. So the other anglers will not know where you're at. And then, if you feel like you don't want to register that fish and win a Shimano prize pack, I mean, that's totally up to you.
So that's the other thing I wanted to mention. So of course, we'll save some of the prizes. We've got to save some suspense, but I just want you to know, as Nick just mentioned, the team in third place will have 2 reels available to them. The team in second place will have 2 reels available to them. And the team in first place will have 2 reels available to them. And I want a big shout out to the boys at Shimano, because Lee and Bobble stepped up in a huge way. In fact, this is Lee's area. So when he heard about this tournament being run in his backyard, he was just over the moon. But we also have another reel that will be awarded to the angler that catches the biggest walleye in the pre-fish overall. So there's a lot of great prizes available to anglers just for the pre-fish, and I'm really excited about it because it's something that I don't think I've heard done before, certainly not to this extent. So a big pat on the back to you two and us three for putting this on.
Yeah. Plus, you got to remember too, we know we are going to have cash prizes on top of that. So you're not just winning the awesome products from Shimano. You're going to put some more money in your pocket. So potentially pay your entry fee for coming in, which, I'll take a little side note on that. Bring it up to us. We will have 2 early bird draws on top of that. So the first early bird draw, everybody registered between now and June 15th has a potential of winning their entry fee back. So you'll be fishing on our back. And then from June 15th to August 1st, we'll do another draw and we'll reimburse 50% of your registration. So it does pay to register ahead of time.
And with things going up, gas prices and lodging, like nothing's getting any cheaper. This would be a great way to put a little bit of money in somebody's pocket before the tournament even starts. So,
realistically, there's going to be a team out there that gets to fish the entire 7-day event for free.
There you go.
Somebody has that option. You can fish the 2-day event, cool. And now you can fish the pre-fishing event. So it's free, everything.
So while we're on the topic of sponsors here too, just to let everyone know, we're still building. Like we're in severe construction stages. We just got the foundation built. We don't even have walls up yet, guys. People are hounding us to get in the door to find out when we're open. But we've had some awesome sponsors that have knocked on our door already. Know what we're up to. Shimano, NXS. We got Costa. We have Livingston. We got Whitewater, 74th Element. We got the Trading Post in Sault Ste. Marie. We got Great Lakes Outfitters in Sault Ste. Marie. We got Garnet Sports in Espanola. And we got Bolton Food Products. These are just a few of our sponsors, and we got a lot of irons in the fire still that are still coming out, talking to us daily. We're getting messages. We're reaching out. We got a lot of big things happening. I mentioned on my Facebook page and my Instagram page a few minutes ago that we do have some other big news that's really boiling right now, but we got to wait for confirmation. So hopefully we'll have another episode in another couple of weeks that we'll be able to update you on. But I mean, guys, there is some real dogs in this that are really stepping up to the plate to help us. We promise you that this is going to be the event of the year. If you're going to do one walleye tournament this year, make sure it's this one. I guarantee it's going to be one of the best.
I couldn't have said it better. Dan, take it from there, because you know what? Mic drop. I'm done.
We have one more thing to add to that, actually, that we haven't got to talk about it, and it is in our registration. So if $500 entry fee is for you, and you don't think a $12,000 first place payout is enough, we have the Anglers Advantage program as well. So that is basically a tournament, like a side pot tournament that you can enter. So it's $200 per team to enter into that. It's guaranteed. It's 100% payout to 30% of the field. So if we have 10 teams that sign up for that, we're going to pay out, $2,000 to the top 3 teams. If we get 30 teams, we're going to have top 10 prizes on that. So that's extra and above all that.
Jeez. So I have to ask, as I'm sure right now people are looking to sign up. How do we sign up, Dan? How do folks sign up for this tournament?
So we actually just created that today because we needed to answer this question. So thanks to my daughter, Kaylee, she really helped me out. We kind of sat down and we squeezed this up. So we've created we have a forum out there now so that it's good for us to get going. We have our accounts all set up. So you can go to the North Channel Walleye Open Facebook page, and you can go into the page. I've shared a link right now. Myself personally, I've shared. I know Nick has also shared it on his social media.
I think it's on all of our Facebook pages so far now.
Exactly. We literally were like minutes before we went live. We were like, oh, we got to hurry up and do this. So we're scrambling. We'll get it all there. If you don't go to the page, you can go on Messenger, find the North Channel Walleye Open, send us a message, just say hi, and it'll automatically respond with the link you need to register. So you can click on that link, take everything else. Now, anybody who's fulfilled that, we get the emails immediately. Once you've got your emails and we can confirm payment, then you're registered. Then you'll move into position number 1, position number 2, position number 3, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But we literally just launched that like I don't know, an hour and a half ago. So we're going to see a lot.
That's awesome.
I
have to say, from someone down in the Big Smoke, looking, I always look north. I swear I am like a compass. I'm always looking north. I can't wait to get back up north. I'm really excited about this simply because, as I said, I am right now. I'm in the middle of 2 phenomenal walleye fisheries, being Lake Erie and Bay Quinte. But I have to say, my heart was robbed that day. The 3 hours that we spent out on that body of water, Dan. I have to say, I have a new girlfriend, and it is the North Channel. That fishery, not just for walleye, but you showed me, the pike fishing is just as good, if not better than the walleye. The bass fishing, you can go on to great lengths about the smallmouth fishing. But just as a fishery, multi-species fishery, Dan, this is a unique area. And somewhere an angler who loves to fish and loves to fish multi-species definitely needs to go.
And like you said, and it's one of those things, like I've seen 8-pound smallmouth come out of here. I have a friend of mine in Massey. He's got one on his wall. And Craig's not a fisherman. He was just in his dinghy dragging a little rappler around, and he caught that. So like they're there, and we never got to really explore it. I mean, I know I kind of popped through Little Detroit. The whole water dynamic changes. So we got that tea color stained water that comes out of the river. We go around through little Detroit, all of a sudden it's Jane Clear. We got Manitoulin in our background, all the islands, and there is some big walleye out there. There are a little bit less of them than they were here. Then we get around into the whole Serpent River system, and then we get back into those islands, stuff like that. So there's so much to explore. There's so many fish here. Like, we've had everybody in the world that's filmed here. You know, I've seen Bob Izumi out here numerous times filming with different over the years, different episodes and stuff like that. So there's a reason why they get drawn in here and through the resorts and stuff like that. We have numerous amount of people here, and you know, it's been a few years. I've been trying to really say, you know what, I want to be a world-class walleye guy. I have a world-class fishery. I need to exploit it as much as I'm trying to exploit myself. And no better way to do that than with a tournament and bring all your closest friends along for the ride, you know, because I'm eventually going to
be the most legal way
in a tournament eventually.
Well, I'm excited for that, but Christelle, yeah, I'm absolutely pins and needles, to say the least. As I said, we have a tournament to put together, so there is unfortunately still some things that have to be done, dotting of I's and crossing of T's, but it is an exciting moment. It is something that is somewhat new to this area. The fishing in itself is a very well-kept secret, because I don't see a lot of boats on there typically. Dan, you can attest to that. But when we were out there, I think there was only like 7 or 8 boats. Now, it was hunting season, so it is a little bit different time of year than when we're going to be running this tournament. But the one key thing is it's after Labor Day. So a lot of that marina, you said, Dan, a lot of those boats are going to be gone.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I picked this time frame is that I grew up as a boater. My parents still have their cabin cruisers, so I grew up doing that. I was very well, Dan and I, we actually grew up across the street from each other, so Dan knows the system very well. So after Labor Day, that's kind of the last hurrah for everybody that's out camping. So then a lot of boats start pulling out. So that's kind of the reasons why it was really this is me personally, because I used to be a boater. I'm going to be very, very strict and very heavy on how we treat the marina and the people that are in there. So we have to really navigate that properly. We have to really be respectful to all them. So no better time for that was when the marina is basically half full. A lot of these boats have pulled out. They're done for the season. They're all going to join us for the party. Don't kid yourself. They're all going to love it. They're all going to be there. They are going to enjoy it all that. But I didn't want to be a problem either, right? So I wanted to make sure, because of the way the marina is designed, and we are working to stave around that by adding a dock, but it costs a lot of money. So we're going to see where we're at. As of right now, we are using the marina as our anchoring points to get the boats in. No problem for parking, no problem for launching. It's more or less the congestion in the marina that I'm concerned with. Other than that, we have no concerns, and I'm very excited for that. There's going to be a lot of those, I think, a lot of those fish coming in. And I'm excited for that. I mean, it's anything like we did with them when we had Rock and Roar, the concerts, which were held in August, the party that we were having just with the locals and everything around. I think it's going to be a really good time. And that being said, I believe as of right now, tentatively, there's talks of a live band or a DJ for a Saturday evening in the complex. So just to add to it, so we can see Nick's moves. He's got a pretty good one.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to promise anything, but I do believe on my business card for this event, I am the after-hours mixologist and personal trainer. So we might throw in dance coordinator as well. But this is it's going to be I am so excited. Like, this is one of the most exciting things that it is. As a tournament angler fishing, I fished the National Walleye Tour. I fished the Masters Walleye Circuit. I fished the Michigan Walleye Tour. I've done many tournaments on the Northern Ontario Walleye Trail. I fished the Huron Bass, Nickel City, the North Shore Algoma tournaments. Like, I've done a lot of them. I fished the Zale Cup this year. So I try and spread myself out to see what we have to offer. And I know Danny's fished the Masters. He's done a few other events. Scottie, you've been around tournament fishing your whole life, and you are Mr. Walleye. So having all of us together and just brainstorming the conversations that we've had, and picking up the phone and, hey, I got this idea, and then that's stupid, and hang up the phone, and it's like, oh, okay. But then we start brainstorming together, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, we get these magical ideas. And as people that have been in the scene and around the tournaments and know what we want to see and how we want to feel as anglers, like, I don't know if we even touched on this. Danny, we ended up getting, you might not know about this yet, Scottie, this might be a surprise to you, but we got an MC for this event. His name's Scottie fucking Martin, the biggest name in walleye fishing around.
What, the guy from Okeechobee? Is this why they're on here?
No.
Is that the guy that's coming up?
Even better,
the guy from Canadian Fishing Network. Have you heard of him?
You sold out to my prettier cousin to the south? Oh, no way.
But having guys like you, Scottie, that's gonna the championship in Matagami when we met, like, you built that up for the anglers. Like, when we come up on stage and we didn't know if we were gonna win, like, I was lucky enough to be right there in the hot seat as the last boat rolled in. The goosebump feeling because of that guy on the microphone that built that stage, built that scenario, built everything up around it. And then all of a sudden it was just like, I lost, but I was like, I won. It was one of the coolest experiences of my life because we had a professional on the microphone. And that's what another aspect of this tournament, because everyone deserves that feeling. Everyone deserves to be a champion and having that professionalism in a tournament. And that's what we're going to bring to the table in this event. Every single person that fishes and walks across the stage is going to feel like a professional and be a champion walking off it.
Exactly. We want to give the same experiences we've all felt and shared, and it's fantastic. And I mean, the top off with Scottie, I mean, he doesn't stutter, so it helps a lot. You know, it's kind of moves us forward.
Oh, you know, and it's you know what? The secret's out now. The sexier Scottie to the south. You know, there might be a surprise visit. Who knows? Who knows?
He's gonna have to take a back seat. He's got no choice. He can watch, but
well, I will say, you know, when Scott Martin came up to the Spring Fishing and Boat Show, it became a bit of a thing with the ladies, and I couldn't understand it from my perspective, but I could certainly understand it from his. They all wanted the thing. It was a Scottie sandwich. They wanted to be in the middle of the two Scotties. I'm like, dude, they're here for you. They're not here for me. He says, well, you're kind of a big deal. I said, yeah, I'm a big deal. Yeah. Unfortunately, I carry it around all I go. But on that same note, and of course, this isn't just about, blowing sunshine up everybody's arse. I want to say, hooking up with the two of you, you guys are the social butterflies of the tournament trail up there in the north. And I have to say, Nick, I've said it once. I've said it to you. I've said it to others who cared to listen. When it comes to everything that you bring to the table, you are one of the most valuable anglers on that circuit up there. And it's for no other reason, because you make everybody feel a part of it. At the end of the day, tournaments have sometimes a very difficult time building community. You two guys, watching you do your thing at Matagami, up at Sault Ste. Marie, it didn't matter. Wherever it was that you guys were, somehow, some way, you got people out of their comfort zones, out of their trailers, out of their beds. I'll never forget. I forget who it was that you woke up in Matagami. At the end of the day, you want to build community, and there's something
I accidentally might have wrestled David Grad while he was sleeping.
That's who it was. Yeah, it was somebody you gotta. But at the end of the day, that kind of element to these tournaments is so important to me. And as I said, that was one of the things that I truly loved being a part of the NOWT, was simply because you built that community, and it was the anglers that did it. Your volunteers, I can't say enough about the volunteers and the buy-in from the community. Yeah. But you anglers sell it. And the fact that it's not just that we're going to have a great tournament, but we're going to have a collection of what I consider really good people. And for no other reason, that's what makes me very excited about this event.
Well, man, at the end of the day, we don't start tournament fishing. You didn't get into this to make money. You're not here talking for an hour every single Wednesday, plus all the other lives that you do out through the week to be rich. Right? You got a day job. I got a day job. Danny's got a day job. We don't do this to become millionaires, to become famous, become this. I started tournaments to have a good time, to have fun. And when I see that the tournament scene and stuff, like, people are out of place or kind of down not really having a good time. I try and bring that rowdiness, that camaraderie, the family feel, because everyone's welcome. We need the entire community to be part of it, to be having a good time. So you come back next year and you want to be there, because if no one wants to do these, and the few of us that are doing them, it's not gonna live. So we got to make sure that everyone's having a good time, everyone's having fun. We can stay, it's at the end of the day, I don't care. I'll party and wake up and sometimes not performing at my best, but we have a good time, and it smiles all the time. It's not when we get out in the boat and we're it's blast off. We I got the traditional fist bump to my partner as we take off, and as a blast off team 3, boom, fist bump, we go, and it's game face, right? We joke, we laugh, we have fun, but it's game time. But when it comes back to the tournaments, man, we should all be having that same glowing feel, fun. That's what I want to try and bring to the anglers, because that's what I see in a tournament. That's why I do it. It's my second family. It's my fishing family that I want to see. I go to these events to see these people all the time. We all share the same interests, same hobbies. Fantastic humans.
And Dan, obviously, you're up in that area. I want to say the other part that really surprised me too, in regards to how this has all come together, is the buy-in from the community thus far. You can't go anywhere in town and someone not saying, "Hey, did I hear that right? You guys are running a tournament, a walleye tournament this September?" Yeah, and then it's like the outpouring of support. It's just unbelievable. Dan, maybe you can talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny, because I bumped into my old school bus driver, actually. So I because I'm born and raised here, I meet everybody. And I bumped into Diane in the store, and we were talking about it, and we got on the subject, and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm hosting the tournament in September, blah blah." And I gave her the gifs about there. I said, we haven't quite launched it yet there, but we're getting there. She said, "Oh, okay, I'll keep it a secret." I'm like, "No, it's not a secret, Diane." I said, our webpage isn't up. She's like, "Oh, okay, I'll tell Brady," So it was kind of funny. It made me laugh that I've been getting a lot about that. So it's kind of weird. And so you bump into people, it's like a little secret. No, tell everybody. Let's get this going. So, but that's kind of gone away now. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's very excited about it, because they're like us. Like when we first talked about it, when we first kind of looked around, you're like, shit, there's potential everywhere. You can really, the work is right now for us in a sense, but we just got to get the people here that are already coming here. We're just trying to lock them up for 2 days now in the same area. And we're going to have a really good time. We're going to have a lot of fun. The town is, I'll be honest with you, when I've been thinking about this for a very long time. And like I said, when I approached the township, I was like, "Whoa, I wonder how this is going to go." And I was overwhelmed after talking with Pam and her team. Immediately they're like, "Yes, we love the idea. We're 100% behind you." In fact, I kind of had to dumb things down, because they were going, and I'm like, "Wow, this is very interesting." And then then being invited to, because I had to propose this to council, right? So I had to speak to the mayor and councilors and everything else, which they were all smiles. They loved it, and helps everybody. And then it quickly turns into like, wow, we can build this to something enormous if we want to. And then you get me and Nick. We have a couple of beers. We get bored. We call each other and we brainstorm. And then we call Nick. We call you Scottie. God, we got a great idea. And like, we just talked about a couple of weeks ago that we've already got the next 5 years planned out. So we're really excited, So yeah. So we're approaching. I really feel like we're approaching how we're planning this tournament, how we fish the tournament. When you hit the water, it's all business. We got to go. We got to put our weight in the boat. We're aiming for first place. The second you hit the scale, that's it. Your hair's down. Let's grab a beer. Let's have a good time. Let's just party. Let's just have a good time and socialize. And this has really been my exposure to tournament fishing. I've only ever seen that in that Northern Ontario, when all these events. I got spoiled at it. That's what I thought it was. I remember the first time when I fished Detroit. I was like, "Oh, where's everybody going? There's nothing happening after the event. The event's over. So we're all doing our own thing." So I really look forward to that. Like Nick says, it's like seeing a family. It's like, I couldn't wait to go to Kapuskasing this year, because there's a lot of people that I only see if I go to Kapuskasing, so that we went there. When we went to Dubreuilville, that was, Dubreuilville obviously was like extra because of the championship. And then Metagami is one of those places. So, we love doing that kind of stuff. I look forward. I'm really hoping to drag a lot of people down here for this year. I think it's really exciting, as much as the new people. I'm really hoping that.
So that was going to bring me to my next question, Dan. I think when we first started talking about this, Nick, you can help me out here too. I think we started capping it at 50 boats, maybe. Then it grew, and it's grown some more. And my biggest concern is, if I don't want to talk too loud because some of the folks down here might hear about this who love their walleye tournaments, but I'm really concerned about the number of potential anglers that will be coming north. Hence the reason why I showed this map, just to show how close it is in proximity. I mean, yeah, it's still 8 hours, or not 8, 6.5 hours.
6 hours.
6 hours out of Toronto. So it's not that far. And the fact that you're going up there, as you said, Dan, for a week, and we're providing a lot for you. Like, you're going to be able to take a shower. You're going to be able to use toilets, clean toilets. There's going to be food on the premises. There's going to be lots of drink on the premises. There's going to be places for your kids to run around and play. I don't want to get too far into the details of what the expo is going to look like, but there's going to be hopefully stuff there for the kids to do. But at the end of the day, it is going to be an event. As much as it is a tournament, it is definitely going to be an event. And
absolutely,
I'm concerned that we're talking too loud, that some of these folks around here might be wanting to make the trek up. What are we capping the tournament at in terms of number of boats?
So currently we're capping at 90 boats. And the only reason is we're capping at 90 boats is my concern is our ability to manage all those boats in the water at that time. I think we can do more, and I'm willing to do more. I really think that we're probably, if things kind of go the way the rumblings and rumors are, we might be at 100. But sky's the limit for us. It's the only thing preventing us is us, and whether we can have enough volunteers and enough people to manage this year properly. And, we have the facility designed actually to flow very well. So the only thing that's going to end up preventing us is going to be the actual anglers.
We do have a lot of great volunteers that have run very successful tournaments in the past as well, that have reached out at a moment's notice and said, hey, we want to help wherever we can. So we're talking about Christelle, Jessica, Chantel. Like, you guys have run these events, know what the questions we have to ask are going to be answered before we have to ask the questions. So having you guys in our arsenal is going to be a huge, huge advantage to us.
100%.
And I love that too, because, at the end of the day, Christelle and I have known each other for a number of years, and I've watched her grow, and I'm so proud of all the accomplishments that she's managed to see and be a part of with Matagami, with Hearst. And truly, I mean, Hearst is one of those gems. It's out of the norm. As I said, drive up that dirt road. You wonder what the heck you're getting to, and then all of a sudden it opens up to this incredible campground, and then you understand. No different than the experience that I had with you, Dan, when we drove in to this venue at Spanish. My jaw, I think, was on the ground for most of our trip in there, and it was awfully hard to walk with it dangling. But yeah, needless to say, this is an incredible venue, and I invite anybody who maybe doesn't even fish. Maybe you just want to be a part of a great social event. Maybe you want to get up and see something that you've never seen before. I highly recommend just coming to the town of Spanish. It is a beautiful getaway. It is the gateway to the north. I think it's more.
Well, maybe we can talk. You can talk a little bit about what you're hosting and what's going on for the locals as well. Like, because it's not just the tournament. It's not just about the tournament anglers here as well. We're doing other things for fans and people that want to check this out as well.
So that's the difficult part. Yeah, that's the difficult part that I'm in the midst of. I know we're going to put it on a CAD program so that we get a total layout of the entire venue, so that we understand where everybody's going to park, how many RVs we're going to be able to house. Plus a lot of the stuff that we're hoping to be able to bring up. Obviously, I want to source local. So if you are someone that has a rock climbing apparatus that you want to bring down, those who want to volunteer to get a little bit of promotion for a bouncy castle or stuff to do for the kids. Maybe you're someone that likes to paint faces. we're open to anything and everything when it comes to bringing people to the event. And I want to say there's a bit of an emphasis on family. I'm all about family, and I love seeing families enjoy themselves when it has something to do with fishing. And this event is going to cater to all kinds of people, all kinds of walk of people. If you like competition, if you like tournaments, you love walleye, you love great social events, again, this is the place you're going to want to be. And I'm looking forward to hosting an incredible event.
Like you're saying too, like we've had a lot of conversations to make sure that it's not just accommodating the anglers, that we're trying to make a spectacle events of this year, whether our stage setup or remote viewing, and we have a licensed facility, all this kind of stuff. So we're trying to really incorporate that, because it's surprising too, is like, especially locally, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to come watch this, I'm going to come check this out. And we highly encourage people to show up, especially for the takeoffs and the weigh-ins, to see that whole process. We want you there at rules meeting night, to understand that we're passionate about this. Guys like me and Nick, like we're almost fanatical. Like I dream about catching walleye in the middle of my sleep. Like it's something that I always want to do. So you don't realize all the steps you have to go through, the pre-fishing and the organization, everything else of that. So we really want people to see that, understand that, and participate. So we're an open door. Come on down, and we want to treat you like some of the events we got to go to was Metogamy and Hearst and stuff like that, where they've been very open. In Duberville, like it's surprising how open they are. The people seem to be closed off to it. I don't know what that frame of mind is, actually.
So not to get into the details of the expo, if you will, or the event within the event, but for those who someone that is tying their own tackle, painting their own crankbaits, doing great things for their local tackle community up there. Like I think of Junction Tackle with Chris Bain. I'd love to see him have a table or a booth at this event. It's those people that we're gearing this towards. We are definitely going to be bringing some folks from the south up north to be a part of the expo. But again, I would rather see a lot more local talent there. So if you are or know someone that is doing stuff like this and they want a venue to promote themselves, this is the place to come. And I want to say,
it doesn't just have to be walleye.
It doesn't have to be walleye. It could be anything. As I said, face painting. If you've got antiques, at the end of the day, if you're selling something, I don't care. Just get in touch with me. All the booth places are free. We're not going to be charging anybody for booth spots. So the more the merrier. You're welcome, and we'd love to have you.
Absolutely. And we're just scratching the surface here. This is probably 25% of what we figured out so far. We got so much more work ahead of us, so I'm excited about that. And I think the tackle swap and this vendor booth is going to be they help us go over the top. I think it's going to bring a lot of people in, and it's going to be very fun. I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to that, to see what people have been up to.
Now, we haven't got into some of the payouts, some of the prizes per se of the tournament. We've certainly just hit the tip of the iceberg at this stage. But as Christelle is saying, I could feel the energy just with you two. If you could feel it, Christelle, trust me, I'm feeling it here. The excitement for this event it's busted at the seams, and I can't think of two individuals. I can't think of two better individuals I'd want to be associated with putting on an event like this. So again, to the two of you, thanks for the opportunity.
Really appreciate it.
Right on. Well, we have all kinds of other tournaments and things that are going to be going on in 2025 to speak of. Of course, we're probably going to have Jessica and Christelle on to talk about Huckson Metogamy as they're upcoming. We are talking about the Pike Derby that is going on in February, as it does every February up on Metogamy, just to bring a little bit of light to some great social events, as I say, up here in the north. The northern anglers, I tell you, the northern folk, as we all know, have historically always been very open and welcoming, and it's no different from the angling community. So as I said, on that note, folks, if you want to come up and rub shoulders with some pretty cool people, by all means, we'll see you here the weekend after Labor Day weekend in September at the North Channel Walleye Open. This is Nick, that's Danny, I'm Scottie, and this is the POW'er Hour, sponsored by, of course, the one and only POW Castings. Before I hit the button, boys, is there any last words that you wanted to say, Dan?
I'm excited. Thanks for listening to us, and I look forward to seeing everybody in September.
You only paid me for an hour, Scottie.
I knew something like that was coming. I just had a feeling.
You know what that means, Danny? There's a scoozy without a beer in it. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, gents. Thanks so much for doing this, and we will see you next Wednesday to talk about this or many other topics. As I said, if you got a tournament or event that you want promoted, by all means, get in touch with us here at the POW'er Hour. We'd love to talk to you about it. In the meantime, have yourselves a great week.